Welcome to this week's virtual town hall. They call this the novel coronavirus because it's a new virus, and we're all learning more about it as time goes on. With each new piece of information we receive, we've had to adapt and learn how to fight it. Our initial strategy, which was called Hold the Line, was designed to defend our communities and keep it out of our buildings and keep folks safe. It worked, and it kept you and the staff safe even after we experienced our first employee and resident cases. In the first 3 months since it started, we only had 1 resident and 5 staff infected, all with positive health outcomes. In early May, we realized that keeping folks contained had reached its limit. We needed to adapt and change our strategy. While we saw the overall health of residents and staff improve with reduced symptoms like colds and flu, we also saw that isolation began to wear on you and your families. By then, we had secured the necessary amounts of personal protective equipment, enough so that we felt comfortable, should we have an outbreak, that we had the tools to deal with it. This allowed a bold new strategy to counter the impact of lack of physical, mental, and social activity. Our second strategy we called Grow Together. Grow Together recognized that we must relax some of our restrictions to give hope and to create connection and wellness. Basically, to open up as best possible, trying to find the right balance of weighing the risks of the virus with the risks of isolation. Since Mother's Day, much has happened, and we've learned more about this virus. A few factors come into play. First, people have reached their limits with isolation. Cabin fever has been running high. 2, social unrest motivated large groups to gather without following protocols. And 3, a large percentage of the population questioned the lethalness of this virus and the necessary restrictions placed upon us by our government. This created the perfect storm. Plus, more testing becoming available has led to an increased infection rate not seen since April and May. And now in June, all of that has combined to produce a resident outbreak in one of our communities, an infection among staff in another. To date, at the Springs at Willow Creek, 8 residents have tested positive out of 76 apartments, and unfortunately, 1 has passed. As of our last report, those residents are still asymptomatic and doing fine in a specialized COVID skilled nursing facility. We tell you that in our ongoing commitment to be transparent with you so you can judge the risk of this virus for yourself. All the other residents at the Springs at Willow Creek have tested negative, and our full Hold the Line protocols have been followed with professional cleaning and enhanced procedures. Last Friday, we learned that one of our surface tests in our assisted living at the Springs at Carmen Oaks in Lake Oswego, Oregon, came back positive. This surface test alerted us to the fact that someone had entered the building with COVID-19. We immediately mobilized and tested all residents and staff. The results showed that no resident had the virus, but 4 employees did, and all the employees are asymptomatic at home, monitoring their health. We've asked that everyone in our independent at Carmen Oaks take extra precaution, although no staff members that were infected were in the independent living building. We are also asking for more testing of our independent living residents to make sure that we're not missing anything. To be clear, no one has symptoms, and no one is suspected of being infected, and let's keep it that way. I want to point out and stress that had we not participated in this new surface testing study, we would not have known of any of the positive employees or residents in the last week. I would have done this town hall and reported that we are still COVID-free. I want to thank Envirotech and Kashi Labs for involving us in this study and working with us to develop this early warning system. We still believe our theory that this virus is like a forest fire, and if we can find it early, and we can put it out, we can minimize the damage. However, if we want to remain as safe as possible, we must expect COVID-19 to enter our buildings. We must assume that every person that we come in contact with is asymptomatic and infected. This point of view is our best way to fight the virus. Society will not be quarantined any longer. There's life to be lived, and we must adapt. We must keep our communities safe and open up at the same time. Retreating inside our walls more than a brief quarantine is not realistic anymore. So in addition to our Hold the Line strategy, we must begin implementing our new strategy, which I call Detect and Defeat. We're going to hunt this virus down, and we're going to find it, we're going to contain it, and we're going to eliminate it. We must see it on every surface, on every hand, and in every unprotected breath. We must understand that around others, every time we let our mask slip from our face, we are potentially spreading the virus. To wear a mask is to respect and to protect others. When we face it, we can defeat it. To detect the virus, we must rely on both human intelligence and technology in the form of screening. Each of you plays a role, and I'm asking each of you to live with an awareness that your personal action could cause a spread, but your personal actions could save a life. I'm not saying don't take calculated risks and don't live life, but what I am saying is please use all the safety protocols like masks, hand washing, and avoid touching your face. I'm saying that if you feel that you've been exposed, please don't hide that fact. Tell us. It's okay. We'll help you. If we work together, we can hold the line and grow together at the same time by embracing our new detect and defeat strategy. As a reminder, our website, thespringsliving.com, has all the latest statistics and helpful information that you're going to need. Thank you and be well.